I know that we're not supposed to talk about Carol, but I want to talk about her. Okay, because she puts me through a lot in this book. So I'm not gonna waste no time. I'm gonna just hop right into it. We Don't Talk About Carol is Kristen L. debut book. My girl did her thing. This book was just amazing. It's a thriller and it's a fiction. Now, personally, I have no idea why I continue to read thrillers knowing I'm scary, knowing that this is going to keep me up all night long because it's going to be replaying in my head over and over and over and over again. And I'm going to dream about it. But I keep putting myself through it. So now I'm going to convince you to take yourself through it too. We have the main character, Sydney. Now, Sydney lives in Los Angeles. She gets a notification, gets a message, and her grandmother has passed away. So she has to go back to her father's hometown, Raleigh, North Carolina, and deal with the passing of her grandmother. Now, when she was younger, she discovered a picture um, of this young girl, and she looked at it all night long. The next morning, she took it to her grandmother. Her grandmother instantly shot her down and was like, "We do not talk about Carol." So let's fast forward to the future. We have buried the grandmother. We are getting ready to sell the grandmother's house, and she finds that picture again. She's walking around with the picture, and one of the grandmother's friends comes to the door. She sees the picture and she asks her, "What are you doing with that picture of Carol?" So naturally, she's like, "Oh, you know Carol?" She was like, "Yeah, that's your grandmother's daughter, her other child." Now hold on, hold on, okay? Now, if this was me and I've gone my entire life not knowing that I had an aunt, I'd be baffled because not only did my grandmother not tell me, but my daddy didn't tell me either. Like, what's really going on? But come to find out, Carol just randomly went missing. Now, Carol did talk a lot about going to Detroit and just running away because she wanted to be a singer. And the grandmother just kind of put it in her head that, you know what, Carol left. She went to Detroit. The father put it in his head. You know what? Carol left. She went to Detroit. She abandoned us. However, Sydney is like, something is not right. And let me tell you why. Around the same time that Carol went missing, five other girls, not one, not two, but five other girls went missing from the same school. They just vanished out of thin air. And these are quote unquote good girls. Okay. They are good. They have a career that they want that's set out ahead of them, never in trouble. Carol was the opposite, but these are good girls that went missing. So in Sydney's mind, she's like, we got to find these girls. We got to figure out what happened to these girls because what happened to them, potentially the same thing happened to Carol. Stick with me. Now, in the midst of all this, Sydney is going through marital issues with her husband Malik. On top of that, she's going through familiar issues with her sister and her mother because her mother is the type of mom that's continuously saying what happens in this house stays in this house. But all this childhood trauma is coming up for Sydney and it's been spilled into her work life. And now she's having to deal with the trauma of her father as well. So everything is just coming up to the surface, coming up to the surface. So she puts on her detective hats, detective glasses, because she is ready to get down to the bottom of what really happened to Carol and what really happened to these five girls that were missing. She brings light to everything. She has people looking into it. The city is back intrigued again. They want to know what happened to these five little girls. We have family members of the five girls who never got over these things. The police never really covered and talks about what happened. They just kind of pushed it away and said, "Oh, these girls ran away." We know how they go. You know how they really don't look for the little black boys and the little black girls who tend to go missing in the United States. I caught myself putting on my detective glasses as well and trying to figure out the twist. I wasn't all the way right, but I had a feeling that something wasn't right was one of these characters. It was multiple twists, and it wasn't like too much of a twist. Like they all made sense, so it added to the plot, and the plot was thick, very thick, thicker than me. All in all, I do feel like the ending was good. You leave with no questions unanswered, so it was a really good book. I did rate this book a 5 out of 5, and I just hope that this review encouraged you to read a book, even if it's not this book, because thrillers just may not be your thing. Read something, read anything, because it's good for your heart, it's good for your mind, and it's good for your soul, okay?